No?
Yeah. Blue, how you doing? Thanks for meeting with me. You've just written the brilliant Exile book, Challenge Everything. What got you into that and how to go writing the book?
I got into Exile because my dad's been an environmental protester for a long time, and he told me about Exile, and I went and I heard the Heading for Extinction talk, and I was just really, really shocked by what they were saying, all the facts they were saying. Yeah, and I just got really scared from it, and I just kept on going to meetings in Exile because I didn't really know what else to do. And then someone approached me and asked me about writing a book because they wanted to get a young activist's voice out there, and I thought it was just a really good idea.
What kind of things would you like to happen from the book being published?
I think I just want people to read it and sort of empower themselves from it, and because really I think the book is a jumping off point for people.
So a lot of your peer group strike on Fridays, but am I right in thinking that you've done a complete school strike?
Yeah, I haven't been to school since last year.
And are you worried that your education's suffering?
I don't think so, because I think I can just go back to school now and redo the years that I missed, whereas I can't put off, climate activism because it's happening right now.
So Extinction Rebellion, known for doing big disruptions, several times has brought central London to a standstill, blockading roads and stuff. Have you been involved with that?
Yeah. In the April Rebellion, I was the arts coordinator for Exile Youth. There was so much coverage, there was so much media, and the government Parliament declared a climate emergency. And it just shows how much direct action works and how much nothing else was doing anything.
Critics will say ordinary people are trying to get to their jobs, you're causing a nuisance, London should be allowed to keep going as normal for the economy. What would you say to those kind of criticisms?
I think the disruption that Exile is causing is nowhere near the disruption that will be caused by the climate and ecological emergency.
So you've been in trouble with the police. What was that like? In
October, I was arrested as part of the International Rebellion for obstruction of the highway. I was in custody for more than 24 hours. They put it as exactly 24 hours, which is illegal. And they kind of intimidated me. They kept on threatening to strip search me and were sort of taking me into little rooms, and they wouldn't give me any water. It's really, really scary when you're confronted with these people and you have no power in that situation. And I'd never been where I was completely at these people's mercy and they could do whatever they wanted to me. And I was just stuck in this cell, freaking out. And then so the second time I was arrested I was sort of basically walking down the street and they stopped and searched me under the Terrorist Act, and then they arrested me. So it was kind of out of nowhere. And I was really scared. I sort of had a panic attack in the thing, and they treated me really badly then as well, and didn't have any kind of any support for me having a panic attack or being. They just kind of chucked me in a cell. They've confiscated my phone, and they raided my house while I was in custody, and took my laptop.
Do you know when you're going to get your phone and laptop back?
No. They need the code from me to get into them. Basically, they want to check all my messages to see if I have links with anyone in Exile, and if they can get incriminating evidence.
Do you think it's legitimate what they're doing with your phone and laptop?
No, not at all. It's such an abuse of power. That they can just stop you walking down the street and confiscate all your stuff and not give it back.
How big do you think Extinction Rebellion civil disobedience can get?
The point of Exile is to raise this awareness and to get people talking about the climate and ecological emergency. And they've kind of done that. And I think, there's a danger that Extinction Rebellion will turn into this kind of power organisation that's trying to fix it all themselves, where they're not actually the experts, and the people who should be fixing it should be democratic. It should be a citizens' assembly or something like that. I think like the scientists who've been saying this for years, since the 70s, should be the ones who are being consulted.
So are you committed to breaking the law?
Yeah, I'm committed to fighting against the climate and ecological emergency, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to ensure that I have a future.
And what is good about becoming an activist in terms of like what it can bring to your life? I mean, beyond what you're trying to achieve.
I think a really good part of being in these activist circles is if you're struggling with climate anxiety and grief, sort of being with other people who really understand where you are, and are also kind of fighting for you and for themselves and for everyone.
Can you explain what the climate anxiety and the grief is?
I mean, climate anxiety and grief is just being scared for your future. In my future, I'm not going to have enough food, I'm not going to have enough water, I'm going to be probably involved in these huge wars for resources, and all the animals are going extinct, all the plants are dying, all the trees are being felled. Just imagining what the world's going to look like in the future is just terrifying.
So it's that causes the climate anxiety?
Yeah.
And what's the grief?
I feel like all my opportunities are being taken away from me. Like I just feel like there's no point in going to school or going to university or getting a job anymore, because all of this stuff, it won't matter 50 years into the future. It's all just going to go up in flames. Like the pandemic is part of the climate ecological emergency. It comes from like zoonoses from disturbing wild populations and eating meat and then flying around and spreading it everywhere. We're all at risk, my generation, and it's really scary, and we don't have anyone to push it off onto. It's like we're the last line.
So you've been at the HS2 protest camp just outside of London. Why is HS2 an important issue for you?
I think because it's something concrete that is just absolutely ridiculous projects that the government is doing, and it's something that's there right now that we can fight against, and have a victory. Because all this stuff is very abstract. It's sort of talking about the future and about all these scientific ways of changing things and government policy. But with HS2, it's very like, trees are being felled right now, and we can go and we can stop them, and we can stop them spending, all this money, £106 billion, I think it is, taxpayers' money, and we can stop them destroying all these nature reserves and ancient woodland.
So it sounds like you've lost faith in the government and institutions, but you found this faith in the people you're doing things with.
Yeah, definitely.
What is it about the people that you're doing activism with that inspires you or gives you hope?
I think it's that how much people are giving. Like people give their whole lives. They've quit their jobs, they've left their families to live in this kind of in this random activist site in Denham Woods, and to climb up trees, and people face so many challenges, like being abused by bailiffs and police, and they're still here and they're still fighting so hard.